Okay, students, get ready to take some notes. This is part 2 of the PowerPoint presentation for Unit 2. One of the, now that we covered the media preferences for Latinos, I want to show you one of the best dictionaries for social media that I have found online. And all the links, again, are in the PowerPoint. This is one of the websites that I found from Spain that has really good organization of the social media terms that over the year, and it's called Diccionario Community Manager, Marketing de Contenidos, Blogs y SEO. Así que this is the Diccionario Social Media, las 100 palabras del Community Manager. And so this is an organization, marketing organization that put together social media words. And the importance that I am bringing up is because many words do not have a translation per se in Spanish. So they would be what we would call Spanglish, but these are acceptable words. So as you can see, I'm going to go down the list just to see, read some. AdWords, ad blocker, all of these are the exact same. Just as you use them in English, that's how you refer to them in Spanish. So here's app, es una aplicación informática descargable tanto en dispositivos móviles como en ordenadores que desempeña una función útil y complementaria para el usuario. Hay miles, por ejemplo, algunas más usadas que recomendamos. And here it talks about some of the apps. The avatar. También se dice de la misma manera en inglés y en español. And then they're alphabetized here. Banner, brainstorming, branding, CMS, contenido de valor, Creative Commons, crowdsourcing, tu dashboard, cuando dicen el dashboard. El escritorio donde se pueden gestionar todas las opciones, el dashboard de tu sitio o tu dashboard de tu blog. E-commerce, también otra palabra muy comentada, what it means. So you can go down the list at your own pace, at your own time, because one of the pay attention to memorizing some of these terms, or you probably already use them in your everyday life, because this is going to be the topic of one of the one of the class exercises. Okay, so here, feedback, followers, freebies, hosting, hashtag, es una etiqueta formada por una palabra o conjunto de palabras precedidas por el símbolo almohadilla, que se transmite una idea, nombre, concepto que normalmente va asociado a un mensaje o texto. Y se usa principalmente en redes sociales como Twitter, Instagram o Google+. Hosting. Bueno, en fin, la lista es bastante larga. So take a look at this again at your own pace, at your own time. It is important that you know what these are acceptable terms to use the same word that is used in English and Spanish. So it's not really Spanglish, but it's acceptable terms. So why, if you're asking yourself, and please take notes of this, why is it important that we know our target language? One of the main things is we need to know who are we doing the translation, the age of the person, that person, that we need what kind of language when we render the translation. Is it going to be more simple? Is it going to be more sophisticated? Is this person bilingual? Does this person is more proficient in English, more proficient in Spanish? Are they going to understand it? Is this going to be a formal or informal, a site translation for someone that is paying us, or just an informal site translation for a relative or a parent that we're translating for, perhaps at a medical visit? And the importance of proofreading. We talked about the bloopers and the embarrassment, the worldwide embarrassments that major corporations could have avoided if they would have proofread, if they would have utilized someone that is dominant in that language to make sure that they're using that they're saying what they were trying to convey, the message that their goal is to convey, and make sure that the information is accurate or relevant. Also, we talked about media consumption as being important, especially because when you're doing a translation and marketing in the media, we saw the big purchasing power of Latinos and how that relates to major corporations wanting to target that community, and how do they target it, and what language. More and more I see billboards now when I drive around town that are in Spanish. So knowing about the purchasing power, then you see the relationship as to why this is happening. In government, of course, there are some mandates, but in business, it's a good business practice, and it's based on profits and the purchasing power of Latinos. Here is an example of this McAfee, one of the first text messages campaigns directed to Latinos about 8 years ago, when McAfee was expanded into other McDonald's. This was one of the campaigns that was geared towards Latinos so that they could enter their cell phone and then receive notices. But I want you to pay close attention here, because there's some major grammatical mistakes in this ad. McAfee. En el mundo McAfee hay un momento del día en el que olvido las presiones y disfruto lo que yo llamo vacación de 5 minutos con mi McAfee favorito. ¿Por qué? So as you can see, it's missing a question mark here. And an accent. ¿Por qué? Porque me lo merezco. Disfruta tú también tu cafecito de la tarde. Entre, so aquí is a reference to the tú informal, disfruta tú. And here, entre su número de celular, it goes from tú to usted. So there has to be also consistency. So my number one rule is that, besides one that I'm going to mention briefly, is that when you do a translation, if you're going to do it in tú, you keep everything in tú, and you make sure that the verb, when you're using the verb, it matches the tú, versus using doing a translation in usted. Entre su número de celular para recibir noticias de eventos sensuales y ofertas de McDonald's. So those are some of the grammatical mistakes in that ad. So with this, I'm going to finish and conclude the part 2 of this PowerPoint presentation. And please, it's very important that you watch part 3, as it is going to explain all the homework assignments and all the group assignments, everything that is due in the coming weeks. Thank you.